Hello, Internet. It's your boy, MC Gingerbread, back at it with another episode of What Are You Gonna Shit On Now? Everything! Today, I want to talk about Back 4 Blood with you guys, and honestly, some of the issues with the gaming market as a whole today. But before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because you know how it goes. And with that out of the way, let's get it to a word from our sponsors. Alright, about Back 4 Blood. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't an inherently bad game. It's really hard to make shooting hordes of zombies with your friends a bad time. Sadly, this is coming from me, this game feels soulless. The game just feels like empty of any life to it, like there really isn't any effort put into this game. The characters barely converse with each other, and when they do, it's meaningless banter. The cutscenes are a minute long tops with barely any explanation for what you're doing other than zombies are bad and someone told me to do it. There's no interaction with any of the other characters in the main base or anything like that. The game just kind of plops you in the world and says, you know what this is a game, here's the cue, go play. I mean, that's cool, unless you wanted to be engaged with the story at all. The only interesting thing about this is the card building aspect, where you build a deck out of cards that give you specific builds depending on what you want to do. But even then, that gets kind of played out in the longer sessions. It all just feels very underwhelming. You can see it in areas where they can monetize the game, like the outfits, the gun skins. I'm sure they'll add more characters, maybe a battle pass, and if they monetize those cards, I wouldn't be surprised. This game also makes some really odd choices throughout your playthrough. For example, you cannot switch your weapon mods from one gun to another, so you're often losing all of your good mods in order to get a nicer gun. The game also resets your gun and card progress at the end of every act, which is frustrating because it feels like the game is punishing you for completing story missions. You can't earn achievements or points to buy cards in solo mode, which I don't know who thought that idea was a good idea, but like, what the fuck? Just punishing single players? You can't even play in offline mode. You have to be online, and playing single player is pretty much pointless. Also, the versus mode just isn't fun. Instead of the traditional story-based versus mode, Back 4 Blood opts for a more enclosed King of the Hill type game that is not enjoyable at any way. The zombies are super broken and they can spawn literally right next to you. The only mode that can really carry this game is the co-op story mode, and even that feels kinda lackluster. The music is bland and changes so randomly from creepy to violent to ambient that you don't even really pay attention to it. The special infected don't really have any audio cues, so they just kinda sneak up on you half the time. Not to mention, none of them are very scary except for the hag, and even then the hag glitches out half the time and just runs away. This game just feels like early access, like a beta test game rather than a game I would pay $60 for. Like, I can see where the fun can be, but it still has a lot of work in order for it to get there. And just like a lot of games that have come out within the recent years, Anthem, No Man's Sky, Marvel's Avengers, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Cyberpunk 2077. My point being, the video game companies have seemed to become accustomed to our willingness to buy a game before it's even out, and then they just put out a half-baked game and we just gobble it up and then pay for the extra content too. And I'm just tired of having to wait months to play a game that I just bought properly. With a world that has just been rocked by a pandemic, I think most people would understand that if you need to delay your game to make the game feel like it has content, then do that. The kind of people that get angry and threaten people when games are delayed are not the kind of audience that game companies should pander to in the first place. Either way, if you have Game Pass, I recommend downloading Back 4 Blood and giving it a try, because it might just be me that feels this way, but otherwise, I would say skip this game unless it's on a good sale. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, if you like or dislike what I said, and make sure to like and subscribe. Subjugate to the masses. Peace.